Harry's wife. Why do some people not see through her? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This is one of those key questions that is often asked, invariably, by people exasperated at their dealings with the sugar lumps. They engage in discourse with these individuals to explain to them, she's a narcissist. Do you not see this? Here is the evidence of her lies. Here is the evidence of her revisions of history. Here is the evidence of all of the things that she's done in the past that she sought to cover up. Here, the chicanery that she engages in, the grifting that she engages in. Why, oh why do you not see it? Invariably, because people see it themselves, they think surely you must be able to understand and realise what she is. But there remains a hardcore group of individuals that can't. Why is this? Well, first of all, there are some of that group who actually realise that she's not a very nice person, but they simply cannot admit it. These are akin to those individuals that you're having a discussion with in the pub. You might not really know the individual, but somehow you found yourself in an argument and a debate with this individual, and you know that they know that you're right about what you're saying, but their pride will not allow them to accept it. So whatever you've been arguing about with them, you have forensically taken apart their arguments where they're left perhaps reducing to ad hominem insults against you, and perhaps just regurgitating what they've said, even though it doesn't make any sense. But you can see in their body language, you can see in their facial expression, you can see in their eyes that they're defeated and they know that you're right. They just will not admit it. And that's down to them being simply obstinate and too proud. And it's the same with some of those adherents to the world of Harry's wife. They now realise that she is a busted flush, that she is not the heroine that they thought that she was. And they're sorely disappointed, but they just cannot, for their own personal pride, come to admit it. The next group that just don't see it are quite simply thick. They lack the cognitive function to grasp the arguments that are being put forward, and their brain cannot calculate and compute the evidence that has been put in front of them. They are simply dimwits, and through their own dimwittedness, no matter how many times you try and point it out to them, their rice-pudding brains is not going to be able to grasp what you're telling them. And thus, of course, you waste your time. They will just maintain the same stance because that's all that they understand, that they have perhaps swallowed what's been told to them, and because they're thick as mince, they can't comprehend it in any other direction. There then remains a group that continue to support her because, in essence, it suits them to do so. For some, it's because they're paid to do it. For others, it's because she remains a poster girl for whatever cause it is that they're celebrating. That they are using her. They might be using her as a means for saying, look, see how Britons are racist. See how the royal family is this white organism that has it in for people of colour. And therefore, because she is a quarter black, and because she kicked up a rumpus about race with the royal family, these particular agitators see some value in allying with her. There may be some who don't particularly like her, but she serves a purpose. She's, in effect, a useful idiot for them. But even so, they see that she is someone that can serve purposes for them, and in the circumstances, they continue to support her. They see that she supports their agenda, or serves the agenda that they have, and irrespective of the cogency of the evidence, they will not accept it, because they will not accept the ruination of their own agenda. Whether it is some kind of race agitator, someone that has it in for the hierarchy of the royal family, someone who's basically anti-monarchist, Harry's wife is a hobby horse on which they can pin all of their own hopes and dreams, and they don't want to lose that, so they continue to engage in it. Others, of course, make a career out of it. The fact is, they might be a journalist that talk upon such issues, and therefore they nail their colours to the mast. They might even see that actually they've come somewhat unstuck in relation to her, but they won't back down because it would make them look foolish, and they have to plough on regardless because it pays their way. There are others that continue to support her because they just don't understand what she is. And it's not necessarily because they're thickos or dunderheads, but simply they just don't grasp it. These individuals perhaps place much of their own lives into her, that their own lives are fairly empty and boring, and they live through her, a vicarious kind of thrill. I know that one of my blog readers, a delightful lady who I dealt with quite extensively in the past, reappeared after a period away to say how disappointed she was because she thought that finally one of her lot, her words, had made it into the royal family. But she realised after looking at the evidence that my analysis of her being a narcissist was correct, and she was greatly disappointed. She thought, hooray, a woman of colour has got into the royal family, this is a great day for us. And were she not a narcissist and causing all the problems that she has, indeed, that would be a cause for celebration. That lady, T, as I know her by, looked at this sensibly. And although Harry's wife represented many of her hopes and dreams, she was not so slavishly devoted to them to realise that logic should go out of the window. Bitterly disappointed? Indeed she was. Perhaps even hurt by the outcome? Absolutely. But the point remains, she could see her for what she is and applied the logic of her work, or rather the logic of my work, in her understanding. There are others who don't get it because they don't understand narcissism, and they basically live through her, not because they're necessarily poisonous sugars, not because they're necessarily stupid, but Harry's wife represented something to them by which their own hopes and dreams could be achieved, and they don't want to let that go. They cannot reconcile that she's something less than they believe her to be. They cannot contemplate the fact that she is a manipulative, poisonous, unpleasant individual. They cannot tolerate or swallow the fact that their poster girl, somebody that they thought fantastic, somebody striking a blow on our side for once, has ended up being such a damp squib. They can't contemplate it. The realization of what she is would just be too great for them to comprehend and to accept. And therefore it's easier for them to continue to support her, irrespective of the evidence, in a way, putting their hands over their ears or their eyes, not listening and not seeing, because it's easier to go down that route, to continue to try and be the very thing that they want her to be, that they just cannot accept that she's failed to deliver. These are the different categorizations of people that can't see through her. Some who know what she is, but choose not to accept it, continuing to bang their own personal drum and agenda. Some who are too thick to understand. Others are too invested to understand and accept it. The fact is, these various groups remain, but they're being whittled away on a daily basis because more and more people do start to see through her and realise, actually, she isn't the prize or the heroine I thought she was. Some still cling to the dream, but others are slowly letting it go. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.